Listen, a lot of people tend to think prison is just about a lot of random violence and chaos. But the truth be told, it's a controlled political ecosystem of hierarchies, gang members, and institutional authority. Today, we're going to discuss politics within prison. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're already behind. Let's take a deep dive. Follow me, and I'm going to break down a few different things that revolve around the power structure of prison. Let's talk about it. 12 years, 85%. I did it. I stood on it. Thing about the streets is you can be caught up at the wrong place at the wrong time. I still got partners out there. You can't expect everybody to see things the way you see it when everybody didn't go through what you went through.
Real topics, real stories, real events. Get my real output.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Illa Gezey, where we break down real truths, horror realities that others won't touch. Today we will be discussing politics within prison. I know y'all know about the politics in society or the politics within government and how the structure of it works. But today we're going to break down how the politics within the penitentiary works. And I know state penitentiary, federal penitentiary they have two different sets of politics, along with South Carolina versus other different state penitentiaries have their own different politics as well. But I'm going to speak from experience in South Carolina Department of Corrections, South Carolina prison politics. And I know in a few other states, they can relate to the same kind of politics that we got going on as well. Overall, it all revolves around some of the same stuff. Like number one will be power structure. The power structure in prison is ran by multiple different people. And if you don't have that understanding, you're going to walk into this blindly and you're going to make a mistake. You can't walk in here thinking that you can just move how you want to move, do what you want to do, sit where you want to sit, eat where you want to eat, and use stuff the way you want to use it, because that's not how it works. Everything in the penitentiary is already laid out. It's two rules. You got the institutional rules and you got the inmates rules. When you walk through them gates and you walk in that dorm and you scope out everything and see what's going on, the best thing for you to do is just watch, listen, and learn. Observe. Don't jump into nothing head first, because everything has already been decided on that yard, whether you know it or not. The powers that be, whether it be gang members, organizations, cities, states, even the warden majors, they got their crews. So I'm telling you, every yard you go on, you want to learn the political structure on that yard. Who's doing what, who's got control of what, and who basically is running what. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the gangs. Everybody know you got the gangs, but the gangs don't always call the shots. You know what I'm saying? You got certain hustlers that just get money guys that call a lot of shots. Let's just be real, man. With money come with power. With power come respect. So ain't nobody gonna respect a broke person. Let's just be honest. Now, people do respect numbers because there's power in numbers. So gangs move in numbers. But the thing is, it's two authorities. And officers might say clear the yard, but that do not mean the inmates are to clear the yard. It's confusing to an extent, but once you understand what's going on at that moment, then you know you gotta abide by the people that you living around, because these are the people that's gonna be here when the officers go home. These are the people you're gonna be around. So you have to make a choice. You have to pick a side. And most people, They know to pick the right side, and that's basically picking picking your people, your city, your state, your gang, or whoever you with over the institutional's rules. Now, that can get you in trouble, or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times, administration themselves, like the people in the front office, they respect the gangs, they respect the organizations, as long as they are running their situations with structure. Now, let me break that down to you so you can have some kind of understanding on what I'm saying. I don't want to give too much real life examples when it comes to certain topics, but I've had a major or captain come talk to me in the room, me and another person, and he told us, I know what y'all got going on. I just want y'all to keep the peace down. I know what's going on. Just keep the peace down and put the knives down. That is exactly what he told us. When he came at us and closed our door. He stepped in our room. He said, can I talk to these gentlemen privately? And came and talked to me and another person, closed the door, and had that kind of conversation with us. This was back in 2016, 2017. So I can't remember exactly what was going on at that particular moment, but tensions were probably high in the dorm. He ain't been no slow leak. He could see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And tensions rise up for a lot of different things. People over here may be broke, and they don't like, people get to hating to seeing movement and seeing what's going on. So, you know what I'm saying? So these are some of the things, you know what I mean? So it's not all about the gangs. It's about people. It's about the relationships you align yourself with. That's why I like to play chess, because you can make this whole thing a chess move. All of this is a chess game, man. But you have to play it correctly and don't let the opposition see what you're trying to do and see what you're trying to accomplish. That's what you do when you go into prison. Don't go in there showing your hand. Don't go in there thinking you about to run this, because there's people already in place for all of that. I jumped out of there. I jumped out trying to hustle immediately, trying to just gather stuff, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to call home for a whole decade. But I jumped out there fast. So jumping out there fast, I take losses, take L's, because I don't got this part figured all the way out. But we'll talk about that another time, the way I figured it all the way out. Anyways, let's talk about race and alignment. This is what a lot of people don't want to talk about. I wanted to make a whole episode about race in prison, and I still may do that, because this right here is basically about the politics. But part of the politics is race, because in certain states it's different. Let's just be real. Now in South Carolina, the white people do hang together. They click up together, but they do not pose a threat. So why do I say that? I think it's just the familiarity of being around your own people. And you don't know nobody when you come in here, so you get around your people. Black people, when they walk in, it's where you from, who you with, do you bang. It's all of that type stuff going on. But white people, it's generally a little bit different. And generally they have to pick and just choose who they align with. Like, real talk. And I want to go deep into this on a whole nother topic, and I will. I'm not going to continue talking about the race in prison, because I know how far it can go, and I know how deep I can go with that particular topic. But align yourselves with the right people. That's another chess move. Align yourselves with the right people. Disrespecting the wrong people, and you don't know who's aligned with who, especially when you just getting here. Yeah, you got your homies or whoever put you on some game and they'll tell you this, da, 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 da. But all you gathering all this new information. You gotta let it soak in. I've seen where you disrespect the wrong person, things go left. You could disrespect this person right here thinking, oh, he a little lame, he a clown. You know what I'm saying? He's soft. You could, you know what I mean, slap him around, disrespect him, however the case may be. But you didn't know that this boy right here, who you calling lame, soft, whatever the case may be, is holding, he's a whole man. He's holding something for the warden. He's holding something for the biggest gang members on the yard. He's holding something for the IRC man. He's holding something for the big money man on the yard. I don't know. All of these people. I'm just saying, for example, he's a whole man. You don't know he's a whole man because you just coming in here, or you don't know he is a whole man because nobody know he's a whole man. But disrespect him, slap him, bring heat to his room, and now watch what happened to you because you didn't understand the politics of what you had going on. That's a prime example right there. Maybe you just tried to rob the wrong person. Maybe you tried to rob him. Anything. Maybe you tried to steal from him. Anything. Maybe you tried to steal or rob from him thinking nobody was going to know, but you ain't know the whole time he holding stuff for him. And the person he holding stuff for is in a whole nother door, but he got like 2 or 3 people watching this man's room at all times. That's how the structure of the prison part of the politics work. It works just like that. I've seen another example just like this, where you had this CO. She aligned herself with the Charleston dudes. Charleston rolled like a gang in prison. Believe that. Low country. She aligned herself with the Charleston dudes. If a dude called her a B word or started cursing her out, because the girl got a little snappy mouth now. She wild out the mouth now. So when if she gets you, you gonna curse her out. I've seen where multiple people curse her out. And I told my girl about this. All of a sudden, like the next 2 or 3 days later, this person getting beat, blitz. Nobody know why. But I've seen it happen over and over, starting from the particular CO who had got cussed out. And it's those type of political games that people play. I call it political mind games, penitentiary mind games. They play these little games. They try to play little games to get things out of you and all kind of stuff like that. But those were a couple of examples of how people align themselves with certain people. Like certain CEOs will align themselves with certain, like I say, organizations. You know what I'm saying? And if they do that, next thing you know, they protected. That CEO is well protected by that organization or them people over there or that city, that state, that alliance, that clique, that dude. They protected by them. Now, whoever they are in alliance with, that's why I say, like, the politics behind it, you'll never know what's going on. I've been in dorms where the Crips, the Bloods, the G's get along and got a structure to where it's like, yo, in this dorm right here, don't nobody rob nobody. If a person owes somebody, they paying them. In this dorm, this is how we run this. So if you come in here, you're going to abide by the rules within this dorm. You will have, I've seen it where a dude will come, a different kind of gang member will come out of place, because they come out of place and they'll try to rob out of place, meaning they'll come from their dorm to another dorm and try to rob somebody in your dorm or whatever the case may be, or vice versa. Either way it go, if that's the kind of structure that's in that dorm, nobody going for it. I done seen it. I done seen where it's an alliance of members step up and ain't nobody going for nothing. I've seen it to where everybody was in one room together having conversations, just building structure, just letting it be known, you know what I'm saying, how things need to run. Because, yeah, just like this, think about it like this. The institution have their meetings in the morning. What do they discuss? We don't know. But it ain't necessarily us versus them type of thing. But back there, when you back there, the inmates, we live back there. They visiting. We live back there. So if we want this to run good, it's always up to us. If we do stupid things, if we make stupid mistakes, we gonna get stupid results. We get locked down for stupidity. We need somebody to come together so we can understand, like, look, y'all, we getting locked down for nothing. Like, come on. We gotta get right. And these are the things that help you understand the politics in prison. Discipline. Institutional discipline is going to be lockup. It's going to be canteen privileges taken away for a certain amount of time, phone privileges, visitation privileges, maybe even tablet privileges, all that taken away from a substantial amount of time. That's institutional discipline. Discipline and violations amongst the inmates is something else. Now, that type of discipline, it all depends on who wants to do it and how they want to do it. I've seen mental discipline. I've seen this to where the guys discipline their guys and say, you can't go to the kitchen for a week or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk to nobody in the dorm for a week. Something like that. I've seen that for sure. You can't talk to nobody in the dorm for a week. A whole week. I ain't gonna say who did that, what organization that was, or what group that was, or nothing like that. But it was quite interesting. And that's a mental discipline type of thing. So everything ain't all about physicality or beating a person up or jumping them or anything like that all the time. But it all depends on who you're around and who you're dealing with and stuff like that. Let's talk about communication for a minute. Because everybody seems to think communication is always revolving around these phones. True indeed. A lot of communication gets done through the cell phone, but cell phones is not the head situation, man. The most communication you can get in penitentiary is word of mouth. Word of mouth travels faster than anything. I'm telling you. Yes, the phones can make you transfer information from this place to that place because, you know what I'm saying, ain't like we can drive from here to Columbia, nothing like that. You in an institution, you can't just move. But I'm going to tell you how word of mouth travel. Word of mouth travel like this. You got inmates going on medical runs every day. You got inmates going on court runs every day. You got inmates just going on certain little runs where the officer has to take you on, take you in the state prison van or the prison bus, and these people will interact with. You'll see that they can go to the holding cell and interact with other inmates, or maybe you'll bump into other inmates wherever you might be. Boom. If you able to communicate, if you see somebody you know, if y'all on the bus, because they used to put us all on the bus with 4 or 5 different institutions on one bus. They just pick up people and take them all to the doctor. Boom, word of mouth right there. Y'all heard this, da 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 da. Boom, word of mouth. Whatever it may be, that's how fast it can travel. And when you get back to your institution, spread it. Will its story stay the same? I don't know, but word of mouth travel faster than them phones. They always want to blame everything on the phones and target everything on the phones. How the phones even first started getting in there? How did the first phone get into prison and made it to where there was never a time where niggas was phoneless? How? That's what I want to know. Yeah. So this go to let you know the power structure. It ain't all about no games. You got to look higher up sometimes. You got to look higher up. That's why when you looking at them higher ups in these big $1 billion situations and people tearing them down and stuff like that, because the higher ups think they can do anything. Now, you've got certain situations where wardens, captains, had their hands tied in on if something coming in or if something ain't coming in. We gonna knock that right there off because who they think they is coming in the door with that right there? That ain't part of our pack. You know what I'm saying? They getting their money too. Trust me, they are getting their money too. So it's all about a game. When the Burgundy team come, the Burgundy team is the search team. If the warden got his people protected, if the warden is in on something, or the captains, or anybody, if anybody within administration, the prison administration, got their hands tied in on some dirty shit, they ain't gonna let the search team or the contraband team touch their people. That's part of the politics. You not gonna know who their people is. I remember hearing, oh, such and such is the warden boy. He got a phone for the warden. The warden got him a phone. I've heard this. I ain't seen it. I've heard it on multiple different yards, multiple different people that a warden may have a guy who with a phone telling them everything, snitching. And I know you got some wardens with this type shit because I've heard majors and wardens come in the dorm and tell us, we know what y'all be doing. You think we don't know what y'all do? We let y'all do what y'all do. But when y'all do stupid stuff like this, it might have been a violence thing. Somebody get stabbed, somebody get beat up, something like that. This is when y'all bring heat on y'all dorm. That's what they would say. You know what I'm saying? Because they know what's in their dorm. When you walk in the dorm, you smell it. You smell it. It ain't no secret. It's death. But you can't just take it all out. You got 100 and something inmates. You got 1 or 2 COs. How you gonna? You can't get everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing, man. Yeah, we talked about the power structure. We talked about the dynamics of race. Prison economy is more so about commissary, debt, favors, how the flow of goods equals power. Because my thing is, if someone borrows food or items from you or whoever it may be and can't pay it back, now that discipline falls on that person and who that person may owe and who this person may owe that they're going to say, oh, I lended it to him and he didn't pay. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to understand who you getting credited and who you trying not to, you know what I'm saying, run your debt up with. And also understand a person can flip and turn you up over $2 or $3. I've seen people flip, turn up over $2 or $3. Stabbed over $5. I've seen that. Over a little bit of nothing. Pack of cookies. Beat up. Something that costs 73 cents. So this is why you have to really be careful about who you owe, who you align yourself with, who you hang out with, who you decide to deal with on an everyday basis. People watching you soon as you come through the door. You are being observed. You are being monitored. When you walk through that door, you being monitored and recorded by the eyes of the inmates. They're going to be talking about you all that week. All the people going to be talking about you. I don't care. They're going to be talking about you. Who are you? Where you from? Who know him? Who he with? What he do? This, that, and the third. They got to know who's in their dorm. Is he gay? Is he a snitch? Do you got to watch out for him? I don't know. The main thing about understanding the politics within prison is survival. You won't survive years in prison if you don't understand how the politics work. You can survive a year, a little year and a year and a half bid because you on a little scared bid, so maybe they don't put you on a little pre-release yard or a little level 1. Everybody on them yards going home. But when you go to the maximum security, a level 3, everybody over there ain't going home. So everybody paying attention to the surroundings. Everybody paying attention to everybody's movements. Everybody's paying attention to everything because survival is a must. You gotta know how to move in a room full of vultures. You gotta know how to blend in. You gotta know how to eat and not be eaten. If you learned anything from today, I need you to know and understand prison politics is real. It is unlike the government. It's nothing like running for president or governor. No, it's a little bit deeper. It's tied to organizations. It's tied behind money, power, respect, and authority. The institutional rules don't dictate the inmates' rules. The inmates, the institution may say we don't want no sheets up after 9 o'clock. The inmates put the sheets up after 9 o'clock. It's just a lot of situations, man, to build strength and to build awareness. This is the level of real talk that I'm here to represent and here to present to the world. Not to prepare anybody for prison, but some of the people that's watching this is going to go to prison. Some of the people that's watching this are coming home from prison. And some of the people are watching this are in prison right now. And if I can teach a person how to not to go to prison, if I can raise a person's awareness to say, that probably ain't a place I want to go, that's my main focus. But if you already back there, one of my focuses is to show you how to navigate and move while you back there. Of course, you're going to have to learn this on your own, but just stay true, stay disciplined. This has been another episode of Real Talk with Illa Gezey. If you enjoy these types of conversations, like, comment, subscribe, hit that hype me up button. I appreciate all the love and support. If you haven't watched my Michael Pearson interview, go check it out. That was episode number 14. We dropped that last week. It's doing very good. A lot of great feedback. Go check it out. I'm about to put it on all platforms, but for now, the video is still up on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in. We got more interviews coming up, a lot more exclusives, and a lot more topics. See y'all next time on Real Talk with Illa Gezey. Peace.